Hey, what is up guys? Today we're gonna be remaking Pong because the first time the microphone quality was horrible and my keyboard was way too loud, so let's get right into it. So let's start by getting our scenery. Alright, and the next thing we're gonna want to do is as soon as we have our environment, we're gonna select our ball, our top walls, our player goals, and both of our players. And we are going to add a box collider 2D. Then we will go to our goals, and in the box collider 2D, we're going to set them as a trigger. The next thing we need to do is we need to set our, switch this to player 2, of course, and then with our players and our ball, we need to have, just our players, we need to have a rigid body. Well, no, we do need it for the ball as well. Rigid body 2D. And then for each of these, we are going to need to constrain them on the Z for rotation. And then with our paddles, we are going to need to restrict them on their X-axis. Next, we need to go into our input manager and delete this vertical and duplicate this to another one, call it vertical 1, and then fix these so that we have our vertical original being down and up keys and our vertical 1 being the S and W key. Alright, and the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating 4 scripts. That's going to be the ball, game manager, goal, and paddle. We're going to go to our ball and create a tag for ball by adding a tag, and then we're going to go into our scripts. Alright, so starting with our paddle, we're going to get a bull for if it's player 1 or player 2. We're going to get a float for our speed. We're going to get a call to our rigid body. And then we are going to get the start position, which we will talk about in a second. Then we will move down to our update. We'll check if it is player 1 or if it's player 2. And then we're going to be giving them their correct inputs. And then we'll have our reset position function. Next, we're going to be going over to the ball script, and we will be giving it a float for speed, another call to rigid body, and another start position. Except this time in our start method, instead of just having our start position equal to our transform position, we're also going to want to create a launch method. Then we will have our reset method that will reset it whenever the ball goes into our goal. And then we're going to have our launch method that launches it in a random direction on the X and Y axis, and then we're going to multiply our velocity by that. Next, we're going to be hopping over to our goal and checking if it's player 1 or player 2 goal. We're going to be checking if it entered the trigger, and we're going to be doing a collision for the tag of ball. And then we're going to check to see if it is the player 1 or player 2 goal, and if so, we're going to have player 1 scored or player 2 scored. These are not going to be implemented, but these are just here so we can reset the game. Now we're going to implement it by adding a public game object for our ball and all of our entities in the game. Then we're going to create our player scored from our previous script, and then we're going to be getting our reset position, which will call all of the resets in the game. Next, we're going to be going back into Unity. We're going to add a game object for game manager, and then we're going to be adding our game manager script to it, and then we're going to drag in all of our entities. And after we have that and all of our other entities with their correct scripts, we should be able to play the game. But there is one thing I did forget. In our players, we need to make it to where in their rigid bodies they have no gravity, as well as our ball needs to have a bounciness a bounciness physic. So we're just going to go ahead and open up our ball and add that to the physics material. And now we should have Pong. The ball also has to have a gravity scale of 0 or else it is going to do that little leap. But there we go, we have Pong. And if we miss, it will reset. There you go. So in our next video, which I'm going to be going over an AI as well as the UI for this game, I hope to see you there.